chance for the fringe players and the youth to stake their claim as part of the qualifying process, which will continue in 2013, this representing the last match for both these sides. We go into the anthems. Generous respect there from the Italian supporters towards their French cousins as the jaunting and stirring anthem was played. Now we move on to Fratelli d'Italia. Italy calls. Well, I don't think that will be necessary this evening. Nonetheless, the stirring strains of Fratelli d'Italia, two of the most recognisable national anthems in Europe, of course. Unsurprisingly, perhaps, as we're talking about two of European football's most successful sides. You may have noticed the young mascots holding a couple of banners in front of them as the camera panned along the teams. A message for the supporters regarding the violence against women, which has become a bit of a problem in Italy and which, quite rightly, is now having attention drawn to it in the hope that it will start the process of resolving the issue. It was a very heartfelt message read to the crowd before the players came out on the pitch. The musicians make their way from the playing area as we have a quick look at the referees. The referee, I should say, and his assistant referees. Undiano Mayenko is the man in charge, the referee contingent from Spain, as the two captains have a friendly handshake. It's Giorgio Chiellini for Italy this evening as they go through a number of changes, as do the French from the side that drew 1-1 away to Spain in their last qualification match for the World Cup. As I mentioned at the top of the encounter, both coaches taking the opportunity to blood some of the fringe players, give them an opportunity in this last match of 2012 for these two proud nations. Very much a youthful-looking Italian attack. Mario Balotelli just 22 years of age, 15 caps and 5 goals, but he's partnered up front by Stefan El-Shaarawy of AC Milan, one of the few bright spots for Milan in what has been a very inconsistent start to the campaign. El-Shaarawy, 20 years of age, lively and elusive, and hoping to make the most of his opportunity this evening. Just his 3rd cap, his previous couple both coming as substitutes. And in the Italian midfield tonight, the pint-sized figure of Marco Verratti, making just his 2nd appearance. He's been handed the role that would normally be played by Andrea Pirlo. Those boots aren't too big to fill, are they? Pirlo dropping to the bench, and Marco Verratti, who makes his living in France for Paris Saint-Germain. Here's the man, there he is, trusted with the role. He's a teeny tiny little thing, Verratti, but he's some footballer. Very, very exciting talent. Barzagli with the ball forward. As soon as there's an opportunity, I'll run you through the two sides. There was a foul on Balotelli before the Italian handballed it. Montolivo just steps away from the free kick, leaves it to Verratti. Montolivo. Maggio, early ball into the box, swinging away from the 6-yard area. Balzaretti is onto it, but the free kick has been awarded to France. Both sides ostensibly lining up with 4-3-3, although they'll tend to be 4-5-1 when they're defending. The Italians, you can see, certainly going into what looks like a 4-1-4-1 formation when they're defending the ball. Balotelli tries to get there first, can't quite get there ahead of Koscielny. Header forward in search of Giroud. Balotelli, good strength from the Italian centre forward. Montolivo, Balotelli still down. Montolivo goes to ground as well. Ribery, the guilty party. As Balotelli gingerly gets back up to his feet. Koscielny catching him a little late. It was didn't seem to be too vicious. Possibly just the way that Balotelli landed as much as anything else. He's still holding his left ankle, Balotelli. A little bit concerning for Prandelli, Italian coach. Towards Candreva. Into it though, Evra. Here's Barzagli, looking long. Balotelli off the chest. Couldn't reach it. Candreva with it. Sacco takes the safe option and goes back to Lloris, who's not had the start to the season that he would have liked, the French captain and goalkeeper. Summer transfer to Tottenham Hotspur in England, but he's been unable to shift Brad Friedel from the first choice slot. Nice footwork on the far side by Sissoko. Matuidi, the number 12. 5 French players, Matuidi, with less than 10 caps to his name. And again. More experienced Evra out wide of him. Evra's pass was a little bit casual. Matuidi does well to come across there, the PSG man. Cut out the double threat of Maggio and Candreva. Candreva, who scored a long-range free kick at the weekend against Roma in the derby. Helped by a glaring goalkeeping mistake, it must be said, but he's been in great form for Lazio, Candreva. Here's Balotelli. Clever little ball inside. Montolivo. Oh, the shocking orange boots. Here's Chiellini, captain for tonight. No Buffon. Rested in favour of Salvatore Sirigu, who, like Verratti, plays his football in France for Paris Saint-Germain. Top of the French league right now. Barzagli with possession. Maggio moving wide, and he's got a bit of space here, and he was well spotted by Candreva. The pass was slightly behind him, but it was the right idea. Montolivo. Good ball in to Balotelli. It's just ahead of the number 9. Defenders dawdling though. Sacco didn't really seem to be sure of what he was doing there. Crossing opportunities there. Candreva. Good header away. Verratti, nice control under pressure. Candreva, another possibility to put the ball into the box, but that's a miss kick from the former Livorno and Juventus man. He's rediscovering himself at Lazio, Candreva. Moved to Juve as a younger man, and high hopes upon him, but never really produced for the Turin side. Lost his way for a couple of seasons, but forced his way back into the Italian national squad. Sirigu. Nice control on the chest from Candreva. Blocked away though by Les Matuidi. Positive enough start though by the Italians. The home side. Proudly top of European qualification group B as we build towards the World Cup in Brazil. 3 wins and an away draw the Italians have under their belt. 4 points clear of nearest challengers Bulgaria, and 8 points clear of Denmark, who were expected to be the major challengers in that group, although in fairness Italy do still have to play home and away against the Czech Republic, who are no pushover, but nonetheless Italy strong favourites to go through top of that group. Here's Chiellini, good ball into Montolivo, nice idea to try and flip it on first time with the outside of his boot. The ball breaks kindly for Balotelli, who possesses a powerful shot, goes for goal, but it was powerful. It wasn't very accurate. Underneath it, skying it away into the crowd behind the goal, and I don't think that one's coming back. Did it bobble? That's usually the complaint. No, it didn't. Just got underneath it as he went for extra power. Lloris with the goal kick. Makes it just over the halfway line. Montolivo beaten in the air by Matuidi. Giroud battling for it. Oh, lovely little drag back from Verratti. El Shaarawy hasn't seen much of the ball so far. The Faraone, the Pharaoh, Egyptian origins, but very much an Italian. Free kick on the far side for the Azzurri. Going back to 1998, these two countries have been involved in some pretty heavyweight encounters. Certainly all the way down through footballing history, these two have been old rivals, but go back to 1998 in the World Cup in France. There's an offside flag there against Olivier Giroud, who's had an up and down time of it at Arsenal since arriving in the summer. Quite scored as many goals in the league as people were hoping, but he's been quite useful in terms of assists and putting himself about. He's often started from the bench as well, so plenty of time left for him to win the fans over. Here's Candreva, Italy building nicely. Maggio's making the overlapping run. There he is, found. It wasn't the best of balls from Candreva. Maggio did well to dig the cross out, but couldn't get the right angle on it. Goes long with the clearance. Giroud underneath it. It's probably a foul by Barzagli, trying to reach around him with arm and leg. The French have possession, nothing doing, says the referee. Sissoko helps it on. The cross into the box. Sirigu's first action. First significant action, and it's very comfortable work. It's a nice idea from Balotelli, but Candreva's not quite fast enough to get past Evra in that sort of situation. Verratti with the foul. Debuchy coming into the back of the Lille man there. Verratti tames the ball nicely, looks over the top for El Shaarawy. Beats off one defender. Gets a little bit lucky with the bounce. Balotelli! Off the bar! Much better effort from Mario Balotelli. And Italy the closest so far to breaking the deadlock, but the French now with the possibility of breaking. Here's Ribery. Moves away from a couple of challenges, but has been forced backwards, which is what the Italians were aiming for. Very, very good effort from Mario Balotelli. Divides opinion like no other Italian player of recent times. I was speaking to some of the fans outside the stadium before the match, and it's quite possible to actually call it a generational thing. The older fans tend to think he's more trouble than he's worth, and the younger fans worship him. That was a lovely effort, wasn't it? Knew exactly where he was going to try and put that, placed it away, and it's actually the angle of the crossbar and post. And then he brought down by Cristian Maggio. Maggio, who normally plays as the wide right player in a 3-5-2 formation for Napoli, but he's part of an orthodox back four here. It's not his favoured position. He's not the best defensively. He's better coming forward. So it'll be interesting to see if Ribery can put some pressure on him down that side. In comes the free kick. It's a nice one as well, curling in, but it was dealt with by the Italians. Here's Verratti. Ball wouldn't quite sit down for him. It's a nice idea. Lofted over the defender's head into the run of El Shaarawy. Here's Ribery dropping a little deeper for it, as he may need to do as the match wears on. And the Italians do a little bit more of the pushing as the home side. Here's Ribery making the run, drifting into the penalty area. Two players try to go with him. He works it back onto the right foot, needs some support, and it wasn't there. And he's been bundled out of it. The Italians can break. Here's Candreva. His shirt tugged just a little bit by Capoue. He's a big, strong man. Wasn't much of a tug there, but Candreva didn't need much encouragement to go to ground. Here's Giroud. Needs a little bit of support. Tries to hold off defenders and wait for that support. Touch from Verratti. Didn't quite make it through to El Shaarawy. Very confident start, though. If you're just joining us, welcome along. We're at the Ennio Tardini Stadium in Parma, and it's Italy 0, France 0. But it's been a bright start by the Italians. Mario Balotelli curling a lovely effort from just outside the penalty area against the join of crossbar and post. Here's Capoue. Matuidi. Evra. Good defending from the Italians, good discipline. Forced the French back a little bit there. Koscielny. Balotelli's tracking him. Koscielny looks down the line. It was a nice ball. Valbuena with a little flip inside, but again the Italian defending has forced the French backwards. Matuidi. Capoue. Moves inside the challenge of Maggio a little bit too easily, but Maggio, in fairness to him, works back and regains possession. Montolivo to Candreva. Just getting a little bit cramped on this near side, and I think Candreva, recognising that, just opens things up a little bit by going back to the goalkeeper. Balotelli. Layoff wasn't the best, although I suspect Maggio might have been a little bit slicker to respond to it. Nice touch by Ribery. Sees things very, very quickly, Frank Ribery. far side for an Italian throw, and Balzaretti, thinking quickly, has taken it quickly. Balotelli not able to hold off the attentions of Mamadou Sakho. Again, Verratti, interesting little start. He's again in the right place at the right time, just for a little interception and layoff. He's made a bit of a mess of things back in defence, though, and France have the throw in an attacking position. The cross comes in, but there's nobody in a white shirt able to get close enough to cause any danger for that one. Barzagli, a couple of years out of the Italian national team following the World Cup in 2006. Now back in favour, back in Italy. Playing for Juventus, Candreva won't get there. Look at the replay, the closest we've come so far to a goal. Absolutely beaten. Nowhere close to it. Good work coming to his rescue. Technically, not wood anymore these days, is it? Fiberglass, metal. Used to be made of wood. And the saying still stands. Here's Balzaretti. Into Chiellini. Chiellini, one of a number of Juventus players in this Italian squad. Juventus again top of the league, although they did suffer their first defeat for a while. A couple of weeks back they were beaten by Inter, but Inter, surprisingly, the weekend just gone, have slipped up away to Atalanta, enabling Juventus, who crushed Pescara by 6-1 with an absolutely awesome first half display. 5 goals in the first half. Absolutely murdered Pescara. Balzaretti with the ball in, didn't really look where he was playing that. Candreva, oh dear, that wasn't the best either. Ribery controls the awkward pass and moves downfield, looking for support. Valbuena, clever quick feet, takes him away from Barzagli. Well, he wasn't supported infield as much as he would have liked there. Giroud had gone forward, but none of the other midfielders had come up to support. Here's Valbuena again. Tricky customer, the number 8. Sissoko to force his way past 2 players. He did, but he didn't really have the ball under control for any of that little period of play. Here's Verratti. Nice idea. Well, Balotelli can get there, which he can. Dispossessed at the expense of a throw-in. Through the defender's legs, didn't quite come off. Verratti with the header, couldn't find his teammate. Hacked away from danger by Matuidi. I think it was aimed at Giroud, but it wasn't a very good pass, and the Italians have possession again. Certainly have made the more confident start of the two sides. Nothing to show for it in terms of goals, however. Here's El Shaarawy. Marchisio. Candreva bullied out of it by Evra. Sissoko. And again the number 11. Physical player, but not the most elegant in possession. Here's Matuidi. Ribery coming wide to offer an option for Evra. Maggio gets in front of him though. Ribery wanted a free kick, referee said no, that's perfectly okay, carry on. Montolivo doesn't manage to get past the dual attentions of Capoue and Matuidi. Felt he took a little bit of a kick there, Montolivo, but play has continued. Here's the Bayern Munich man, Frank Ribery. Doesn't matter if there are 2 or 3 men in front of him, he's capable of getting through them. That's a gorgeous little ball into the penalty area. And the first serious moment for Salvatore Sirigu, as the French threatened there. Clever little ball inside the Italian area, and it was just looking for a split second as though the defence had misread it. Sirigu was going to be caught. life a little bit more difficult for themselves than they need to in defence. That was better work from Verratti. Here's Candreva looking for the give and go with Maggio. Candreva trying to speed things up with a little pass inside to Montolivo. Both coaches close to the touchline, barking instructions to their players. Didier Deschamps, the man in charge of France now, following the European Championships, took over from Laurent Blanc. A coaching spell in Italy with Juventus. Deschamps played, of course, for Juventus very successfully too. Famously derided by Eric Cantona as a water carrier in his playing days, but Deschamps had the last laugh. World Cup and a European Championship win, which Cantona couldn't boast. Lovely effort from Valbuena, sorry. Number 8 put it onto his right foot and got the curler away, but in the end it was straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Balotelli bullied out of it, but unfairly so, says the referee. Talking about Deschamps as a water carrier. Clear, of course, that he and Cantona, the Leeds and Manchester United legend, did not see eye to eye personally. Different style of player entirely, but a great team needs both of them. Deschamps imposed himself on the international game, and Cantona, despite his unquestioned talent, never really did. Here's Balzaretti. With a little layoff for Verratti. The ball to the near side, but it was a little bit floaty for Maggio, who was forced backwards and had to make a header rather than wanting the ball into his run. Valbuena, nice smart turn. Again, though, the French are short of numbers coming forward. Matuidi, Capoue. Lazy from Everett. Gives it to Balotelli. Needs some support. That was a foul by Everett. Balotelli checked back inside and was brought down by the Manchester United man. A little bit of a mini Manchester derby there, of course. Balotelli, Manchester City striker, already managed to have one or two public bust-ups with his manager so far this season. Rumours are that if the right price is offered, Manchester City could be prepared to offload him in the transfer window. Very interesting to see if that happens, and who'd be prepared to take him on. There were rumours last season that he would go to AC Milan. It never happened. Will it happen this time? They certainly need somebody, AC Milan. A desperate time of it at the moment, although in fairness, the problems are in defence and midfield rather than attack, where the young man in your picture is performing wonders for them. Halfway through the first half, 0-0. If you're just joining us, welcome along. Bright start from Italy. It's faded a little bit since then. It's been a bit more even the last 10 or 15 minutes, but Mario Balotelli did curl a nice effort against the crossbar. Here's Verratti, who's probably been the best player so far. Again, the ball looking for El Shaarawy if he can get there, and he can. One defender for company, two now for company. Balotelli tries to drift towards him to offer support, and the French have snuffed out the threat. With good defending there, he knew exactly what Giroud was going to try and do with that. Anticipated very, very well. Nice touch from Ribery. Marvellous play in the Bayern Munich man. Hasn't always been the most consistent, particularly at international level, but there's no questioning the talent.
Sacco.
Clipped over the top. It's the first time for a while the French have tried a longer pass. That's a foul. Verratti brought down. Montolivo drifts away from the Effort of Matuidi to impinge his progress. Balzaretti. El Shaarawy moving infield from his wide area. That was weaker from Marchisio, who hasn't quite got into the game as he usually does, Claudio Marchisio. Valbuena, nice ball out wide. French offering an overlapping run on that far side. Valbuena again, he's got an option with Debuchy. And again, Valbuena, that's a nice ball into Giroud. Couldn't quite get the ball out from under his feet. Oh, he's got a little bit of a lucky break there, and he almost danced his way through the defence. A little bit of luck and a little bit of skill there. Ribery not falling Maggio. Balotelli using his strength well, and there's a nice opportunity here for Italy. Candreva to Balotelli. Took the ball first time well. Balotelli, can he get the cross in? He can. Montolivo's there with the back heel, and it's hacked away by Sacco. Verratti. Italy still in possession, still with options. Verratti hassled by Ribery, and he managed to get it away to Balzaretti. The attack has lost a little bit of momentum, but Italy still have the ball. Nice use of the ball again by Verratti. Have been impressed by him. Candreva drives it in. Not sure what the intention was there, but Italy have the throw-in. It's Balotelli doing very well. The cross, in fairness, did take a deflection. Montolivo, nice idea to try the back heel. He recognised he was going nowhere with it. Maggio. Candreva. He's dribbled himself into trouble there, Candreva, and lost possession out of play. Kicked forward by Sacco. Giroud beats Barzagli in the air. Gets another opportunity. Chiellini comes in very strongly. Verratti collects the loose ball. Montolivo clipping it forward for the run of Balotelli, but that was good defending from Koscielny. Knew that he had to be correct there with the timing of his jump, because Balotelli was away and behind him. That was a nice ball. Valbuena looking for the 1-2 with Ribery. Maggio did well. Ribery was gambling, you could see there that Maggio wouldn't quite time the lunge in correctly, and he'd be away and behind him and into lots of space, but the Napoli man did well. Giroud. Koscielny. Again, the Arsenal man. For his options further forward. He's got the pass down the line. It wasn't the best ball to Debuchy. He was asking for it right into his feet, and instead he got it in front of him, but he has won the throw. Capoue. Valbuena, who's starting to grow in confidence as this match progresses for the French, and that's a good sign for them. Pass out wide. Chiellini's there and has to be quick. Back to him from Balzaretti was just threatening for a second to go behind the Juventus defender. Ribery swapped sides temporarily, but bullied out of it. Nice turn. Montolivo bought the dummy. Italian blue shirts have closed ranks. Giroud has committed the foul, and that was a little bit of a daft one to give away, because the Italian was going nowhere. Candreva. And Giroud just needed to keep some pressure on him and force him into a mistake. Instead, he's clipped the back of the ankles. I was talking a little bit earlier about the recent clashes between these two nations. 1998 World Cup in France. Quarter-final. France winning on the penalty shootout after a 0-0 draw. Balzaretti. Italy will have a corner. 2 years later, it was the final of the European Championships. Italy 1-0 up and missed other chances to clinch the game, and France came back. Late equaliser. Golden goal from David Trezeguet. Here comes Verratti. Shooting opportunity is there. And the shooting opportunity was taken, but not particularly well from Candreva, who does strike a very, very good ball from distance. Scuffed that one rather, though. Sides met again in the final of the 2006 World Cup. Italy there getting their revenge on the penalty shootout after a 1-1 draw. Candreva flipping it forward, but just out of play. He's a bit up and down. He's probably very nervous, in fairness, Candreva. He knows that he's not a first-choice player. The likes of Daniele De Rossi and Andrea Pirlo are ahead of him in pecking order for a place in the Italian midfield, and he desperately wants to impress. In those sorts of situations, of course, players can sometimes just force things and try a little too hard. Seems a silly thing to say, how can you try too hard? But just put a little bit of extra pressure on yourself. Evra with the cross in. Maggio. Yeah, does well. Recognised that the last touch was Sissoko's. Defended the ball as it left the field of play. Ball into Giroud. Bundled away from possession though by a couple of Italians, and there's Maggio. He's looking for a positive run, Maggio. That wasn't the best pass from Montolivo. The Mexican wave is going round the Ennio Tardini Stadium. Usually tells you something about the quality of the entertainment. I have to say, it's justified in this particular case. It was a bright start, particularly by Italy, but it's faded a little bit. Can we have some action now? The drive is powerful, but it's always rising. Sissoko winning his 6th cap tonight, the 23-year-old. Not able to break the deadlock. Much coveted player, Sissoko. Transfer rumours all the time about him. Manchester United, one of the clutch of clubs, apparently interested. Later they're grinning and signing a big contract somewhere else. Transfer window will open in January, of course. And Saka. Inside by Valbuena. Trying to get there ahead of Gonzalo, unable to. The French will have to throw him in, and they've come into the game more over the last 15 minutes or so, the French. Side. Here's Bonucci, Sissoko. With everyone behind the ball. The 4-5-1. It's a very disciplined performance so far from both sides defensively. Chiellini and Sharawi. Dispossessed, but kept his run going and is now in a slightly different position to offer Montolivo an option. That's a good ball for Montolivo. Balotelli can get there. He can't. Was beaten to it by the defender, and the defender there, Sissoko, did very well. He actually managed to fans will be a little bit disappointed perhaps there that such a centrally placed shot managed to get past him. Prandelli won't be complaining. Neither will the Italian supporters. And neither, I suspect, will anybody neutral watching the game. Just what the game needed. Very competent finish from a very promising young striker. Nacho. Ran the ball out of play, but the assistant referee helped him out. And the foul on Balotelli was there? No. Balotelli doesn't agree. I'm not too sure how many times I have seen Balotelli agree with the decision that went against him. Here's Ribery. French try to hit straight back. He does well. Didn't quite dispossess Ribery, but almost did enough at least to stop the attack. Valbuena, beautiful skill. Valbuena! It's an equaliser straight away, and it's a very good goal from Matthew Valbuena. Third goal for his country. Tricked his way past a couple of challenges, moved inside the penalty area, and then curled. Sirigu. Ribery, as I mentioned, half dispossessed. Holds off one challenge, past the second. Creates a little bit of an angle. That's a very good goal. Verratti, not strong enough. Lazzali was tricked. Muchas didn't get to him close enough, and there's nothing Sirigu could do. That was a very well-placed shot. Bent around and into that top corner. Very fine goal from Valbuena. Well, after I complained about 5 minutes ago that the match was just drifting into a bit of a nothingy affair, we've had 2 goals in a couple of minutes, and both of them good as well. Here's Koscielny. Well, will that give France the impetus to come forward and try and score again? And ball perhaps by Balotelli. The ball bounced up though, and the referee lets him get away with that. Matuidi. Evra. Looking for the angled ball in behind the defenders, but there was nobody in a white shirt remotely close to that. Verratti. Andreeva under a little bit of pressure. Nice to work some space. Long range effort, but flashing wide and no danger to Sirigu that one. It's noticeable how much the Italians have been prepared from goal kicks to just go short and play their way down the field. Lloris has cleared it long far more often. And Sacco. Valbuena jumping into the man rather than for the ball, but Italy have possession, didn't really make a huge deal of difference. Chiellini, El Shaarawy. Juggling, wants the free kick, almost gave possession away, but French have it back. Balotelli again, shrugging his shoulders. I'm not quite sure if he was shrugging his shoulders at the referee or at his teammates. He was in a little bit of space and wasn't given the ball. Nice Nice movement from Verratti, takes him away from the challenge. Montolivo. This was halfway between Candreva and Maggio, and neither man quite able to get there. Ribery. Giroud. Ribery again. Got the man out wide, Matuidi. Ribery moves into the penalty area. Crosses a little deeper. Giroud is there. Might bounce down. Sissoko's there. And Balzaretti does well, but the French still have the Italians under pressure. Debuchy with the cross. Almost made its way through to Valbuena. Now the Italians can break. Balotelli. Good challenge from Sacco. Very, very strong, but fair. Balotelli up on his feet as Italy play on. Balotelli again muscled out of it, this time by Capoue, who keeps going forward and eventually just ran out of ideas and ran straight into Andrea Barzagli, and it comes back down the other end. Now the game is opening up. Both teams clearly want to try and grab a goal before we get to the half-time whistle, which is in a little over 3 minutes, I beg your pardon. Montolivo did well to get there. Candreva, the crowd urge him to shoot. They know he can. Second time tonight, he didn't really get hold of it. And Valbuena is down. French goal scorer. If you're just joining us, welcome along to the Ennio Tardini. It's Italy 1, France 1 as we approach half-time. Italy took the lead after 35 minutes through Stefan El Shaarawy. His first goal for his country. But it was cancelled out just a couple of minutes later when the man who's down injured, you can see him there, Matteo Valbuena, skipped past a couple of challenges and curled a fine effort into the top corner. Smoke machine being brought on. Theatrical. Stretcher brought on but not required, and 65 million medical officials coming on to make sure that Valbuena's okay, which he appears to be. It was just a little disconcerting at first because he went down quite heavily and didn't move, and you know a player is genuinely hurt when he doesn't move. When they roll around clutching for something, you know they're probably feigning, but he went down. See him just crash out of your picture there, and he didn't move from that position. Just hoped it wasn't serious, and fortunately it doesn't appear to be so. He's back on the field now and actually has his hand up asking for possession on the far side. Capoue looks long, not very accurate though. Maggio gave the ball away. Here's Giroud. Determined to win possession back, and he's tackled Giroud, but at the expense of a throw-in. Both sides tonight without a number of big hitters. Italy, for example, have omitted Daniele De Rossi from the squad after he was sent off in the Rome derby at the weekend. Nice control from El Shaarawy on the far side. That wasn't an easy ball to bring down at all. He's done very well, drifting towards goal. He's got the man outside. It's Balzaretti needs some support. It was Marchisio before, it was Balzaretti then. Here's Verratti. Marchisio. Another nice little touch of skill from Verratti. Drifting inside the penalty area. He's got the man out wide. Balzaretti's got time to measure the cross and wastes it. But it wasn't good defending from Koscielny. French have to clear their lines here, and they've half done it with Evra. Ball looks like it will come back at them though. Montolivo just about manages to stumble away and make sure it was heading off in the direction of a blue shirt. Ribery with the shoulder bars, and El Shaarawy. Perfectly fair, says the referee. The old Here's Ribery again. Stuck to the near side. France is left for most of the first 25 minutes, but he's drifted around a little bit more since then. And I think he's always more dangerous when he's allowed to drift. To go where he likes. He's quite a responsible player, Ribery. Latching on to a through ball from his AC Milan teammate Riccardo Montolivo. And stuffing the ball through the legs of Hugo Lloris. Valbuena taking over after Ribery had been dispossessed and dribbling past a couple of Italians and curling a shot in from inside the penalty area. Here's Italy on the attack right at the start of the second half. El Shaarawy run out of it though. Giroud sends it wide. Not close enough to Frank Ribery though. Well, the French have certainly made a change at full-back. Bonucci has gone off, number 2. And Revelliere has come on, wearing the number 13 shirt. Valbuena, the goal scorer, drifting into the penalty area again. The Italians, if they didn't know before, will know now to watch him very, very carefully. Here's Muchas, not taking any chances, clearing long out of defence. Morris just gambling a little bit there. In the end, the clearance is a solid one. Matuidi, the number 12. Sissoko. 2 Italians try to close him out, and he'll settle for the throw. Winning just his 6th cap this evening, the Toulouse man. Indeed, there are players on both sides who are lacking in experience. Here's Balotelli, who only has 15 caps before tonight. Seems he's been around for a while, though. Headline makers do sort of have an extra air of longevity about them, don't they? Marchisio, who's been surprisingly quiet. One of Italy's best players over the last couple of years. Hasn't quite managed to get quite into the game so far this evening. Here comes the cross, headed away. And disappointment on the far side for Maggio, who couldn't quite control the bullet defensive header from Sacco. Cross comes in, you'll see the defender heads it away, and Maggio couldn't quite react quickly enough to tame the ball and give himself an excellent opportunity to play it back in again. There are World Cup qualifying matches taking place in Europe tonight. There are a whole batch of international friendlies around the continent as well, but 2 games with significantly more importance attached to them. In Group F, Northern Ireland taking on Azerbaijan. And in Group H, Montenegro taking on San Marino. I won't spoil things by telling you the score in either game if you are the sort of person who, like me, likes to watch highlights programs without knowing the scores in advance. Turkey are playing Denmark tonight, for example. We've got Czech Republic versus Slovakia. That will be an interesting one. Austria taking on the Ivory Coast. Holland, Germany. Alongside this one, perhaps the biggest game of the night in Europe. But we've also got Sweden versus England. Poland versus Uruguay. So some good teams in action. 2 good teams here. 2 teams who are looking to bounce back, not from the Euro Championship, where they both did pretty well, although France were disappointed with their performances despite getting to the quarter-finals where they were beaten by Spain. Italy, of course, were delighted to get to the final, although ultimately brushed aside by the Spanish army. But both teams had a miserable time of things in the last World Cup. Italy indeed finishing bottom of their group, behind Slovakia, Paraguay and New Zealand, and you would have got quite extraordinary odds on that before the tournament had started. France also going out after a lot of infighting cost them precious points, and there's a substitution. Claudio Marchisio, I was just mentioning, hasn't really got into it, being replaced by his Juventus teammate Giaccarini. And another change, Montolivo, who set up the goal, being replaced by the young Roma man. Well, this is interesting. Alessandro Florenzi for his Italy debut. Only made his Roma debut this season. Roma's coach Zdeněk Zeman is a big fan of the young man. He's all action, non-stop running style. He's not the most subtle player you're ever going to see on a football pitch, but he's got a great engine. And in fairness to him, he learns quickly. Already looks a more composed player than he did a couple of months ago when the season kicked off. And has already endeared himself to the Roma fans' hearts with a stunning headed goal away from home in a victory against Inter. Cross from Francesco Totti, and Florenzi came in and absolutely nailed the header. What can he do in a blue shirt tonight? Well, it's the French who are on the attack right now. Valbuena got an option out wide. It's a good option. The cross can come in. It's a dangerous one, spinning away from the 6-yard box. Chiellini was there and dominant, though. Very good defender, Giorgio Chiellini. Commits too many fouls for my personal liking. But nonetheless, he is a fine defender. That's a good cross in. And again, it was Chiellini putting himself on the line for his country. Sissoko trying to win the throw-in, or the corner, and he's won the throw-in according to the assistant referee. Here's Matuidi. Capoue thought about the shot, does take the shots. Ball was moving in the air, but it was comfortably wide of Sirigu's goal. 2 balls on the pitch. I'm sure how he gets rid of that one. We'll have a little look at the replay, but you can see he gets underneath it. It swerves away. Never any danger for the goalkeeper. Quick feet from Balotelli. Trying to make progress down the line. And he might just get there as well. He seemed to half give up on that and then changed his mind, and the cross was left-footed, but it was too close to the goalkeeper. Maggio does well, getting in front of Ribery. Italy with men in the box. The cross is in low. Still in possession, though, the Italians. Candreva drives the ball in. Loris is there. Good little spell, though, for Italy. Can France respond in kind? Here's Sissoko. Got Valbuena outside of him, but behind him now. Sissoko goes across the field. Ribery tries to drag the defenders into him. Ribery makes his way into the penalty area. The cross, and again, goalkeeper is there, and that was end-to-end stuff. And while the action was going on, guess who's come on? Number 21. Pirlo. He won't get to that one. So Italy in this second half, changing all 3 starting midfielders. Montolivo, Verratti and Marchisio off, and Florenzi, Giaccarini and Pirlo on. There's Valbuena. Giaccarini trying to put a little bit of pressure on Koscielny. Valbuena again. Revellier. I mentioned at the end of the first half that both teams are without some of their key players. Daniele De Rossi left out of the starting lineup, left out of the squad, I should say, after being sent off in the derby at the weekend. The likes of Nocerino, Abate, Hazzini, the AC Milan trio, not in the squad. Various reasons, injury primarily for those three. Antonio Cassano has not been selected since the European Championships, to a few people's surprise, as he's actually been in pretty good form. And he played well at the European Championships as well. France, of course, there's no Benzema, Cliché, Samir Nasri, Philippe Mexes, who hasn't been selected since the European Championships, and may well find his French career is over, although Didier Deschamps has indicated otherwise. Hasn't selected him yet, though. Florent Malouda, another player who may well find that his international days are numbered. They have plenty of good young players, the French. Here's Matuidi. Ribery turns away from one challenge. He's got two men for company, though, and the Italians outnumber him and take the possession away from him. Here's Pirlo, drifting away from one challenge. He's got men right and left. He wanted something a little bit more central and available, but El Shaarawy changed the direction of his run. Here's Balzaretti. Pirlo again, clipping it over the top for the run of Balotelli. Goalkeeper does well. Ball against Valbuena. Camera focusing on Frank Ribery, but I think it was the Marseille man, Valbuena, that actually handled it as the ball was clipped in. Florenzi. El Shaarawy with the layoff. Giaccarini. Nice ball from Pirlo. Little reverse pass attempt from Candreva was a nice idea, didn't quite pull it off. Sissoko forgets to take the ball with him. And three Italians buzz around him like little blue bees. And they're a hard-working side, Italy under Prandelli. There's no shortage of class, but they're noticeably much more intent on pressing than recent Italian sides, particularly the side that went to the World Cup in 2010 that Marcello Lippi took there. And of course, it's always very easy to look back with hindsight, isn't it? Hindsight's 20/20 vision, but suspicion at the time was that he was just a little bit too faithful to the players that had won the World Cup for him in 2006. They were all 4 years older, and some of them were a couple of years past their best at international level, and it showed. Lacked the legs, lacked the craft, lacked the grit. Draws with Paraguay and New Zealand. Beaten by Slovakia. Free kick in a dangerous position in the meantime for France. Ribery stands over it. Clips it into the wall. He'll get another shot opportunity, though. Just clips it back in, but that's far too close to the goalkeeper. And Giroud may well have been standing in an offside position anyway. Italy not for the first time making life a little bit difficult for themselves initially, but that's a good ball. Here's Florenzi. Balotelli. It wasn't the best ball to Balotelli, but Italy have kept the ball moving forward and have kept the momentum of the attack. Muchas making the overlapping run, as he does so often. He times them so well too. Crossing opportunities there. Great move from the Italians. They were defending a free kick 30 seconds or so ago. Less than that even. And they've drilled downfield. Muchas with the time picks out the right ball, I think, as well, because Candreva was in space. Went for the diving header. They're never the easiest, are they? Just got underneath it, couldn't quite grab it enough and send it across the goalkeeper. Here's Ribery. Clever turn from the Frenchman. Giroud. He's busy and physical, Giroud, but we haven't seen too much of him as an attacking force, in truth. Ribery with a little ball in, and again collects the rebound. Ribery drives into the penalty area. Bonucci puts it behind. Bonucci on at half-time for Barzagli, his Juventus teammate. Still a Juventus double act in the centre of the Italian defence, though, as Chiellini has stayed on. Here comes the corner. Balotelli doing his defensive duties. It's up, but it's not away. Ribery tries to bring it down. The French still have position and possession. Offside, though. It's the man on the far side, Valbuena, who disagreed with the decision, but first glance it appeared to be correct as Evra stabbed the ball towards him. Let's have a look. Yeah, he was offside, and so was the man in the middle. Here's Balzaretti. Referee very acrobatically getting out of the way to the crowd's amusement. Here's Pirlo. Men right and left. And again, the Juventus playmaker, El Shaarawy. Balzaretti crossing position perhaps, needs it onto the left foot rather than the right. His right tends to be a little bit more erratic. Just got a little bit tight, didn't they, El Shaarawy and Balzaretti? There wasn't really the space to manoeuvre the ball the way they were trying to. Strong challenge from Chiellini, but a perfectly fair one, and Giroud, in fairness to him, is up and no complaints. Lloris clears it downfield. Maggio's underneath it. Didn't really need to head that. Could have brought that down, but had committed to the jump, I think, by the time the Frenchman stood away from him. Here's Matuidi. Ribery. Capoue inside of him. It's been more high tempo so far this second half. Coming up to the 17th minute of this second 45. That was unlucky from Capoue. He spotted the run from his fullback. Pirlo, always available. Spots the run on this near side from El Shaarawy. Nice idea from the young striker. Tried to take the ball in his stride and push it beyond the defender into the space behind, but didn't quite get the touch right. Here's Pirlo again. Balotelli drifting a little deeper. Crowd want him to move into a shooting position. He might try and do that. El Shaarawy. Italy keeping France pinned back. Low ball in, and again the French have to defend a little desperately. Koscielny, I think it was on that occasion, just stabbing it away. And we're going to get a double change for the French. Ribery is coming off, and he's been replaced by Bafatimbi Gomis. And Jeremy Menez also coming on, and replacing Giroud. Well, the Italians will know Jeremy Menez pretty well. He had a spell at Roma, a player of considerable talent, but he's a little bit of a temperamental so-and-so as well at times. He's back in France now for Paris Saint-Germain and playing well as well. I've seen him play a couple of times this season and highlights of other matches, and he looks in good form, and he's certainly very gifted. Manchester United manager Alex Ferguson is known to be a fan of Menez, but sources reliably inform me that he felt that whilst Menez had the talent to play for Manchester United, he didn't have the discipline, and that withdrew interest a couple of seasons back after having him watched a number of times. Here's Capoue. Matuidi. Gomis has replaced Giroud as the furthest man forward. Attempted first touch of the ball, didn't quite make the most of that though, the Lyon striker. Winning his 10th cap tonight, a couple of goals to his name. And the first yellow card, and he probably could have guessed that it would go to Mario Balotelli. Although in fairness to him, he's had a relatively quiet game in terms of disciplinary issues. But that was a little bit spiteful. He recognised there, Balotelli, that he'd lost possession of the ball and made sure that the Frenchman felt the frustration. Camera pulls in on Cesare Prandelli, former Fiorentina manager. Was lined up to be the Roma coach at one point. His wife was rather seriously ill, and he, after having accepted the job, decided that he would be better off not accepting the job, and stepped away from it before the season, in fact before the close season had even got underway. It was a little bit of a disastrous period for Roma that followed that. Went through several coaches before eventually settling on Luciano Spalletti. But Prandelli, very fondly thought of by most Italian football fans. He's one of the most honest coaches in the Italian game. Very, very upfront about the way that a game has gone. Very rarely complains about refereeing decisions, just accepts it as part and parcel. Very calm man. Nice feet from Menez. Oh, lovely work from Jeremy Menez! And there's the substitute effect straight away. Menez with the quick feet, and when the shot came in, Gomis was there. And he goes across to the bench to receive the congratulations, and France have the lead. Menez, shot from, I think it was Matuidi. Check again, or maybe it was Evra. It was Patrice Evra. Wasn't the most accurate shot the Manchester United man has ever hit. Not sure that it was on target. It certainly wasn't on target. And the number 18 did very well. He judged that, just slid in. And he has his 3rd international goal in this, his 10th appearance. And France have a 2-1 lead. Gomis. Showboating little layoff, didn't need to do that, and didn't find his man with it either. Matuidi. Italy's record in friendly matches over the last couple of years isn't the most impressive, in fairness. They often use them as a chance to experiment and try different formations and blood the young players and the fringe players. They've lost about this time last year to Uruguay in a home game. Lost a friendly to the United States as well. Lost to England in the summer. As anybody who's a football fan knows, though, when it comes to big tournaments, generally speaking, the Italians are there or thereabouts. Certainly were in the summer, making their way to the final of the European Championships before being beaten by Spain. He was one of the men that was most inspirational for them on the free kick. Andrea Pirlo trying to find Balzaretti. That was a little bit of an ambitious pass, even by Pirlo's standards. Clearance is sliced rather badly, though. And Italy look as though they're going to make another change. And we could be seeing the introduction of Sebastian Giovinco, which will be a very popular decision here, as Giovinco played for Parma for several seasons. May well be replacing the goal scorer El Shaarawy. Unlikely Balotelli would come off, and indeed it's one of the others. It's Antonio Candreva, who's done a couple of nice things for the Italians. Hasn't really been able to impose himself down the Italian right, though. A couple of off-target shots, a couple of decent passes, caught in possession a few too many times. And he's replaced with a very different style of player. formica atomica, the atomic ant, he's known as in Italy. Tiny little player, very, very good feet, and a good decision maker with the ball as well, and maturing in front of goal. One of his weaknesses always was that he got into good positions and then would waste the opportunities, but he's much more confident with the ball near goal now than he used to be. Which is good news for Juventus, good news for Italy, and not good news for anybody that plays against him. Here he is, lovely first touch, Pirlo. Opening things up. In comes the cross, it's decent delivery. Headed away though. Revellier it was. French can possibly counter-attack, but they've lost a little bit of momentum here. Sissoko looking for the ball over the top. Gomis. Nice little layoff. Valbuena. French happy to build very patiently and go back if they need to. They have the lead. If you're just joining us, we've just had over just less than 26 minutes of the second half. France lead by 2-1, coming from behind to lead here in Parma. Here's Koscielny, was looking long, went a little shorter. Valbuena caught in possession by Giaccherini. El Shaarawy, just a little bit of a panicky touch on the ball there though. El Shaarawy didn't need to flip at it like that, had more time than he thought. Evra. Menez makes the run for him down the line. Here is Menez. And again, the Paris Saint-Germain man. Gomis. Space opens up as the man takes a wide runner. Gomis onto the left. In the end, the shot was central. Prandelli might just be a little concerned at the ease with which the Italian defence opened up there for him. El Shaarawy. We're going to get another change. French are bringing on Johan Gourcuff, who's another player that will be familiar to the Italian fans. Gourcuff, 26 years of age now, but when he was a younger man, he was tipped for great things. He was seen as the heir apparent to Zinedine Zidane, and transferred to AC Milan with that in mind, and possibly a little bit of media hype, and possibly the pressure, and possibly a combination of them ensured that he never quite fulfilled that potential. Having said that, he's still only 26 and is a good player. Doesn't really look like turning into the world-class star though that Zidane was. Gets a chance here though to show the Italian fans that he's still got something up the sleeve. Here's the cross, Diamanti with it. Substitutions a go-go here as Diamanti has come on for the Italians, as the French made that change. Diamanti on for El Shaarawy. He'll be losing count of these soon. Here is Diamanti. Onto that favoured left foot, turning away from trouble. He needs support, finds it backwards with Maggio. Pirlo's there, Balzaretti's there, Giaccherini's an option. Diamanti's hugging the far touchline, there he is. Onto the left foot, bends a ball in! Unlucky. Balotelli couldn't quite get there, Giovinco couldn't quite get there. That was good work from Diamanti though. Bologna man whipping that ball in very viciously. Actually looked like it came off a French defender. Well, it's been given as a goal kick. Possibly Balotelli was the last touch, but very good ball in anyway. Gomis, nice chest off. And good strength again from the number 18. Sissoko. Gourcuff. Gomis. Physically powerful player, the Lyon man. Here's Capoue spreading it wide to Menez. Italians mustn't let him get up ahead of Steen and start dribbling at them, because he's very, very dangerous. That's exactly what he's trying to do here. Here's Verratti moving into the penalty area, just couldn't quite prod it past Bonucci, and the Italians can break. Here's Diamanti. Loses the momentum but keeps possession. Pirlo. He's got Balzaretti available. Wanted somebody a little bit closer. He's got Giaccherini moving vaguely towards him, but nobody coming right down towards Pirlo to receive the pass. Game's getting a little bit more spread out, particularly from the Italian point of view. Chiellini. Balzaretti's available. Hasn't really been able to get forward as much as he would have liked, Balzaretti. He's been kept back by the presence of Sissoko. On the other flank, on the other hand, Maggio has been able to get forward to good effect at times. Here's Pirlo. Drilled ball in, but it was too far ahead of Federico Balzaretti. Italian fans behind the goal, revving up to abuse Hugo Lloris as he goes for the goal kick. Here we go. There you go. I'm not going to translate what they said. Suffice to say, it wasn't "have a nice day." Here's Pirlo. Diamanti, clever. Allowed the ball to run, recognising that Maggio was off on another one of those surging runs. In it comes low. Giovinco with the dummy. And that wasn't quite as clever because there wasn't a blue shirt behind him. Here's Gorkuf. Got Gomes, but only Gomes ahead of him. Good work again from the centre forward. Well, initially it was good work. He's then given the ball away very untidily. Giovinco, past one man, not the second, but he'll win the free kick. Italians will take their time. They've asked for the distance. Pirlo stands over it. Delivery into the box will probably be aimed at a combination of Balotelli and Chiellini. Bonucci's also moved forward, though, as Giaccherini's become the last man back. Whipped ball in! Goal kick. Balotelli half appealing for a penalty when he recognised the ball had gone over the bar. It was only a half appeal. There was a little tug from the defender, but it wasn't really enough. And the tug, if anything, was as Balotelli was already in the air and on his way to the ball. No penalty, I think the right decision from the referee. Here's Gorkuf. Sissoko, Gorkuf moving forward for him. Tries the little layoff, didn't quite come off. Pirlo, that's a foul. He does that move so well, Andrea Pirlo. He looks as though he's stopped. He looks as though the ball has stopped. And then just as the defending player comes in to try and nip it away from him, he steps away. Draws the foul or just throws the man off balance sufficiently to get the space that he's looking for. That's another foul. This time on Giaccherini. Italians are taking it quickly. Diamanti. Trying to bend it in towards Balotelli. The French clear their lines. Anywhere will do with that one. Pirlo. Nice work from the playmaker. Knew the man was coming in, just lofted the volley over his head. Crosses deep, and it'll be a corner for Italy, who've shown signs of life since going 2-1 down. About 11 minutes left plus stoppage time. Can they grab an equalising goal? They won't want to finish the year with a defeat, the Italians. They are much better, Italy, at accepting defeats in friendly matches. I recognise from my accent, of course, that I'm an Englishman, and seems to be a national disaster whenever England lose a game, even if it's only a friendly. But the Italians have a much better balanced attitude. But still, you don't like to lose. You certainly don't like to lose to one of your big rivals. with Bonucci. Pirlo and Chiellini, little Juventus triangle there. Top of the league in Italy again this season, Juve. Here's Balotelli, the layoff for Giovinco, crowd encouraging him to take the players on. Little cross ball, Diamanti didn't really commit to the shot. It was a half chance there for Alessandro Diamanti. And it seemed to me almost as though he didn't quite believe. Cross takes a deflection which might have thrown him, and he didn't really commit to that, did he? Tried to sort of help it into the goal and just needed to wait a little split second longer and give it some welly. Throw in for France on the far side. Gomis, who's made much more of his start in this second half than Giroud did in the first. Not just because he scored a goal, but because he's just been a much more effective link man than the Arsenal striker. Evra with the throw-in. Chiellini. Again, the Italians not the most convincing defensively. Balzaretti is there, and that was a better header. Italy have the chance to build. Pirlo. It's got Diamanti available. Goes long, looking for the run of Balotelli, and the defending there was solid enough from Koscielny. Gomis on the chase. Bonucci's there. Back to Sirigu. Pirlo. Clipping it a little bit into no man's land. Giovinco just doing enough to get there. Maggio to Pirlo. To the near side, Balzaretti. Up and down time of things so far for Roma. Federico Balzaretti, a few very good performances, a few very weak performances. Here's Giovinco shrugging off a couple of defenders. Good shot. And a fine save from Hugo Lloris. Good work from Sebastian Giovinco, though. Shot dipped rather viciously at the end of its life there. Starts up and then just comes really quickly down. Goalkeeper does well. Balzaretti, the corner's taken. Pirlo leaves it a little bit riskily for Giaccherini. Came back off Chiellini and will be a France throw. Change being made. Yet another one. Maxime Gonalon is coming on. And he's replacing Etienne Campouet, who's had a solid enough match, the 24-year-old, winning his 4th cap. Gonalon is 24-year-old. One of a number of Lyon players now on the field for France. The 3rd one, alongside Gourcuff and Gomis. Foot was up there from Gomis. He did win the ball, but your foot can't be that high with the studs showing. Giaccherini. Busy player, Giaccherini. Not the most skillful wide man or midfielder you're ever going to see, but gets through the work and generally tidy in possession, if not inspirational. Low ball in, everyone's missed it. Balotelli's there, can't get enough power. And again, the French clear their lines, not very convincingly. That was a foul and a very, very clumsy one by Gourcuff, but the referee was half the length of the field, but that was a bad challenge back defensively. Good work from the keeper there. Because he'd struck that quite firmly, Menez. All coming from the, well, what I thought was a very clear foul by Johan Gourcuff, who jumped at Diamanti with no attempt to win the ball. He didn't even look at the ball. Now taking the corner, the France number 19. Irrelevant now, the game has moved on. Less than 5 minutes remain. France have the corner, and it comes. It's gone all the way through. Diamanti just hacks it away. Probably the right thing to do. Let's take no chances in that position. Lloris. I mentioned in the first half, and it's been true quite a lot in the second half as well, that the French keeper kicks long a lot, Lloris, and the Italian keeper very rarely kicks it long, from goal kicks or from the ball in hand. He always looks for a short pass. It's encouraging to see. Good reverse pass from Diamanti. The Italians keep it moving. Maggio crosses low. Great chance! Off the bar! Off the bar from Giaccherini. My instinct was that it didn't cross the line, but we might be able to have another look at it. Sits up nicely. No, it doesn't. Not even close. Nice effort. Keeper nowhere near it. And then Koscielny very calmly heads it back to Lloris, but the Italians have hit the woodwork twice now in the match. Balotelli in the first half, and now Giaccherini. Giovinco. Lovely work from Giovinco, but the free kick has been given against him. That seemed a little harsh. Hasn't had the best of games, Undiano Mayenko, the referee. No, I don't think there's anything in that. I think Giovinco just wanted the ball more. Referee coming in for a little bit of dog's abuse from the crowd, of course, the overwhelming majority of which wants the home team to grab an equalising goal, if nothing else. Chiellini, Balotelli. Good strength on the ball from Balotelli. Took a whack to the ankle for his trouble as well, the number 9, and the free kick has been awarded for that foul. Referee tried to allow advantage. That was good refereeing, in fairness. Advantage did not occur, so back we come for the free kick. Balotelli will be one of the targets in the penalty area. Pirlo from this sort of situation. There won't be too many surprises, but the quality will be so good that... The quality is usually so good that there's not much you can do about it. Bends in and around towards the 6-yard box. And again, France get the lucky break. And a defender can hack it downfield. Another man down. Can't quite see who it is. It looks like Evra. Yes, it is. Well, he's holding his face as though he took a blow. I'm not sure if it was an intentional blow or whether the ball hit him in that little incident. Let's have a look. That seems to be accidental. It's a little bit of push and shove there. Evra was already going to the ground behind Chiellini. He may just have been caught. Seems to be okay now, though. Fortunately for him, for France, for Manchester United. Here's Pirlo. Can't quite find a blue shirt as he tried to go through a couple of French challenges. Here's Menez, who's made a real impact since coming on. This time he's dispossessed, though. Gomis gets the ball back, but with the help of a foul, according to the referee, on Florenzi. Diamanti. Driven ball, but again, lacks the accuracy. And Italy have just wasted possession a little bit too much in this second half. There've been some bright play from the home side. But they've also just been a little bit wasteful at times. France haven't attacked as much, but they've been a bit more astute, let's say, when they have attacked. Koscielny underneath the header. It wasn't a particularly good header. He sent it up rather than away. That was a nice touch from Gourcuff. Really nice, elegant control. Sissoko. Good strength. Verratti knew what he was going to try and do, though, and blocked the attempt. France have the throw-in as we move, well, inside the last 10 seconds of the scheduled 90. There will be a few minutes to add on, of course, for stoppages. As been about 47,000 substitutions during the course of the second half, so there'll be a little bit of time to add on for that as France make another change. Benoit Tremoulinat coming on and replacing Sissoko. Tremoulinat is Bordeaux man, and he's making his debut. So a nice opportunity for him to get on the pitch for his country, even if it will only end up being for 2, maybe 3 minutes. 3 minutes, in fact. I've just seen that on the screen as well, and that's been confirmed by the fourth official. 3 minutes of time to be played. We've moved inside it by just about a minute. Italy on the attack, but they'll be doing well to keep that in. They won't. Florenzi very generously handing it to Lloris, but the French keeper, of course, will be in no particular hurry to take the goal kick. Gomis will be the target. Gets the head on, but couldn't quite find his teammate. Minute and a half left for Italy if they are going to salvage a draw from this friendly match. A draw is probably the fairest result. Italy have hit the woodwork twice. They've had a couple of other very dangerous moments. France, you have to say, have been more clinical. But it's been a fairly evenly contested game of football overall. We've certainly seen some good goals. First 2 in the first half from El Shaarawy, and then Valbuena were worth the entrance money alone. The one from Valbuena, lovely goal past 2 defenders, and then a curling shot into the top corner. Here's Chiellini with the captain's armband, striding forward. Pirlo moving towards the last chance saloon for Italy. Lovely ball in, but there's nobody right smack bang in the centre for Italy. Maggio prods it wide. Diamanti onto the left foot, it will go. In swings the ball. Sacco away. Italy again have possession. Diamanti. Nice work from the Bologna midfielder. Pirlo on the edge of the box, tries to slide it inside to Balotelli. That was unlucky. Gomis will chase it against Bonucci. Wasn't the best header from Bonucci, but Gomis wasn't overly confident with the touch either, and Giaccherini's run out of ideas. And here's Menez, and this is where France could be dangerous. Menez, however, is prevented from making much more progress as the referee brings things to a conclusion. A well-contested game between 2 young, experimental sides. Italy taking the lead in the first half with his first goal